Well, hey there. Welcome to the Movie Review Mom YouTube channel. If you're a subscriber, welcome back. Thank you so much for your support. And if you're new to my channel, yay, you found me. I'm so glad. My goal is to give you the heads up on filmmaking quality and content so that you can make the best decision for you and your family as to whether or not you want to spend time or money or sometimes both watching a specific film. So today, the movie I'm reviewing is called Rally Road Racers. This cute indie animation by Viva Kids is now available in theaters. It's rated PG and is an hour and 33 minutes. The movie review mom grade I'm giving it is, drumroll, a B+. It's very cute, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me give you an overview in a nutshell, and then I'll point out things I really liked and didn't like about this film, as well as offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, funny lines, interesting lines, and recommendations for other films that are sort of similar that I think you'll also like. All right, you ready? Let's dive in. First of all, thank you to Viva Kids for sending me a press screener so that I could watch this before it released in theaters. However, I was out of the country, and so the video didn't go up until after it's been released. But my written review went up. So if you ever want to know if I've done a review or not, go over to moviereviewmom.com because I always post my written review before my video review goes up, just so you know. All right, so this action-packed animation was written and directed by Ross Veneker. I'm always impressed when directors can do both of those things. Its message is that it's not the size of the competitor that matters, but the size of the dream. It's about Zhu. It's a Chinese name, a rookie race car driver who gets the opportunity to compete against the reigning champion of the rally car circuit. With help from a former driver turned mechanic, Zhu must overcome treacherous terrain, rival racers, and unexpected obstacles to prove he has what it takes to be the next great racer. All right, so here is the list of things that I really liked about the movie. As I mentioned, it is very family friendly, and it features the popular voices of comedian Jimmy O. Yang, actor J.K. Simmons, Chloe Bennett, Lisa Liu, Catherine Tate, Sharon Horgan, and John Cleese. They all did a fantastic job. Now, I've been a fan of J.K. Simmons for years and have never heard him use the entertaining accent that he does in this movie before. Nice job. I wonder how he came up with it. He kind of sounded like an old Jewish New York man or something. It was super entertaining, especially knowing that it was him. I kept seeing him in my mind's eye, just laughing because it's so unlike who he really is. This extremely colorful, so much purple action animation definitely has a Chinese culture vibe, which I love. Typical street scenes show people doing Tai Chi, playing Mahjong, and buying street food, all things that I love about China. I've been there many times and love so much about the culture in the country. My daughter-in-law is Chinese, as well as my new little grandson. So someday he'll be able to watch this and really enjoy it. He's only 2 years old and he's adorable. Anyway, I actually knew a French man who could catch a fly like the grandma does in this movie, which is amazing to me. So he did it where the fly would fly around him and he would just go and just grab it. And then he would shake it up and throw it on the ground and the fly would be all, oh. And yet a lot of times in these Asian animations, we see little old women like this grandma with chopsticks and she just goes, boop, with chopsticks. Anyway, they're both super impressive. Your kids are going to learn a lot about Chinese culture, including Tai Chi and Taoism. The grandma tries to teach the little boy about his Tao. And so that's just an interesting concept that you can teach and share with your kids if you watch this with them. There is a lot of cute visual and spoken humor. The pregnant male seahorse in the movie is super cute and will introduce kids to the unique paternal creature. Yes, the male seahorses are the ones that actually give birth. Back when I lived in San Diego many years ago, I took my kids to the fantastic Birch Aquarium at Scripps Institution of Oceanography, where we walked into the seahorse display area, and a father seahorse had just given birth. It was amazing. I wished I could have caught the actual moment, but when we came in, he had just given birth and he was floating in the water like, oh, I'm exhausted. And the mother was like, oh, look at all the babies. And she had all the energy. And anyway, it was just fascinating. The peppy soundtrack gives the film a lot of energy. The high energy movie has a lot of 80s throwback songs for parents to enjoy while they watch it. And there's something for everyone in this film: action, romance, drama, and suspense. Now, with all of that praise, there were a few things that I didn't like or just thought could have been done better. For example, at the 13-minute mark, a character suddenly breaks out in a rap song, which was both odd and unexpected. And so I thought, oh, maybe this movie is going to be an animated musical, but it's not. So that piece just didn't seem to fit with the rest of the movie. And I guess it's a good thing that it surprised me, because one of the negative things is that the story is super predictable and has a cliched plot. For example, there's a dead father or father who's passed away, and that's super cliched. We see that a lot in Disney movies, don't we? The movie is mostly going to feel like loud, colorful, same old to parents, I think. There's not enough to keep parents glued to their seats with their children. Now, to see this, you've got to go to theaters. It'll be out on streaming eventually. I think parents can be entertained, but you've just got to like kids and really love your kids, I think, to sit and endure this story, because it's not something that's super unique. We've all seen the Disney Cars franchise and love those. So, but it's still cute enough. At the 44-minute mark, the animation goes to black and white. It kind of takes on the style of pencil drawings rather than the animation we've been watching for the whole movie, which was another moment that felt kind of odd and misplaced and unexpected. Then again, maybe it's a good thing that, they were trying to mix things up and keep it interesting for everybody who's watching. The Toad's minions are inspired by, yet not nearly as cute as the Despicable Me minions. I mean, they're cute, but they're just not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see this movie again. I've got to buy the merchandise for these little creatures. Nothing quite like that, but they're still cute enough. And then I thought it would have been cute to have an after credit scene. I always love those, and they're perfect for fun, whimsical animations like this. All right, so let me give you some tips for parents. There are a lot of car crashes and destruction and, explosions and stuff like that. There is some fighting. Some of the vocabulary will be too advanced for young kids, I think. Some Yiddish words are also used, which, unless you're Jewish or living in New York or something, you might be unfamiliar with the vocabulary. I'm not the whole movie. It was just a couple of times. So Mandarin is spoken sometimes with and sometimes without subtitles. There's kissing. There's also dishonest behavior and a reference to a character flipping the bird with his fingers. So some kids may catch that. Young kids probably won't. So I think they're trying to insert comedic content for parents. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. However, there are a lot of themes that are illustrated very well that will give parents plenty to talk about with their kids after watching the movie together. For example, confidence or lack thereof, doing what you love, family, importance of family, the breath of life and what that means, Taoism, or what is your Tao? That's the question that's asked. Legacy, community, and the importance of surrounding yourself with supportive people, helping others, unity, betrayal, and greed. All right, so I always write down funny lines and interesting lines just so that I can give you a taste of the dialogue and script writing content or quality. And so anyway, you can see all of them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com, but I'll share a few of them with you right now. So at the very beginning of the movie, Zhi, who's voiced by Jimmy O. Yang, says, everyone thinks I'm a weirdo when I'm just being me. So it's yet another one of these movies where the protagonist is an outsider and not feeling welcomed and feeling judged and not accepted and that kind of thing. And, you know, those are good movies for kids because I think so many kids feel that way, even adults, really, for that matter. And then there's kind of a cute running gag about bumper stickers that this one character named Nash just loves bumper stickers, and he's voiced by J.K. Simmons. And then so somebody at the very end of the movie shows him another bumper sticker, and he goes, darn bumper stickers, why do they have to be so persuasive? And it just made me laugh because he was showing everybody else his bumper stickers throughout the film. All right, and then a couple of insightful lines, interesting lines. The first one is spoken by Nash, and he says, I learned a long time ago to trust my gut, not my eyes. And I thought that was really interesting and definitely pertinent now that AI generation has become so pervasive in society. And in fact, I was just listening to a podcast today about how the day will come when we cannot trust our eyes because AI can simulate somebody's voice and make you believe that they're talking. And we're only going to be able to trust what's true when we are standing in front of somebody talking. And I thought, whoa, that's really scary. And as a university professor, I have already seen students run over to some of these chat generated tools and just have them write their essays for them, 100% cheating. And so anyway, it's scary. But anyway, here's one more quote, and this is by Granny, and she's voiced by Lisa Liu, and she says, Tao is the path to harmony. And she's trying to teach this to her son. And I think there is so much good in Taoism. And then Nash also tells the protagonist, the little guy who wants to be a racer, he says, cars don't win races, drivers do. And then I'll just tell you one more. Nash also says, appearance is an illusion. It's what's inside that counts. And I love that so many people were surrounding this young kid and trying to teach him to develop these good inner qualities and that they were more important than winning a race or even having supposed friends that only like you for what they think you are, not what you really are, and that kind of thing. And so, like I said, the movie really features this feeling of community and being surrounded by supportive people. All right, so let me give you some recommendations for some other movies I instantly thought of as I was watching this one. First of all, I thought of the Super Mario Brothers movie that just recently came out. It is equally colorful and has some racing involved and some a variety of interesting characters. Another movie that came out is called Luck. And I thought of it because it features Asian Americans, basically. And then another one was an indie film that wasn't a big Disney movie that caught a lot of people's attention, but it has a lot of similarities where there's a protagonist who's going on this adventure and trying to conquer some of the inner challenges that we see in this movie. It's called Chicken Hair and the Hamster of Darkness. It's quirky, it's fun, it's entertaining, and I've done reviews on all three of these movies. So if you want to know a little bit more of them, just do a search on my YouTube channel or my moviereviewmom.com site, and you'll be able to see and read or watch my reviews on all of those. All right. So, and by the way, I'm so grateful that there are family-friendly movies out there that aren't woke and preaching at our kids, that are just teaching good, basic principles without a political agenda, you know? All right. So that's it for my review. Thanks for sticking around to the bitter end. Hopefully it wasn't so bitter. I really appreciate your support. So be sure and like this video if you found it helpful. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. I'm trying to drive up my numbers just a little bit, and I appreciate every single one of you. Have a fantastic day, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.